And a very, very good morning. This is Dr. Anamta Rizvi again with a very important lecture, and that is chronological works of key authors. Okay, so UGC NET में अभी अगस्त 2024 में जो एग्जाम हुआ इसमें हमने देखा है कि chronology works की chronology authors की बहुत पूछी गई है. That means that so much of emphasis that is being given, high chances that such questions will be asked again. तो मैंने बहुत important writers लिए हैं, especially Nobel Prize winners. Okay, because Toni Morrison के बारे में पूछा गया है, and all the other important writers. Okay, so that is the reason, keeping that in mind, we are going ahead with the chronological works of key authors. Okay, so guys, about me, I am Dr. Anamta Rizvi, your UGC NET English Literature faculty at Study IQ, and I did my PhD from the Department of English, Jamia Millia Islamia, and today I'm here as an educator qualified by JRF NET. For this course, जो मैं पढ़ा रही हूँ, you can use my code AR Live and you can avail the discount that is our 7999 का पड़ेगा after discount. So इसमें हम लोग paper 1, paper 2 भी पढ़ा रहे हैं. The entire course will be covered. The aim is by around mid-November तक the entire course is covered so that we are just doing revisions. Okay, so you can enroll if you're aiming for December. Go ahead, enroll this course, and you will definitely qualify your JRF. All right. So guys, just let me see if I'm audible, visible. Give me one moment, please. Need to check my presence. Everything is fine. All right. Okay, good. I think all's good. So let's go ahead with this. So guys, yeah. अच्छा, इसमें मैंने एक ट्रिक निकाला है. It is not easy. ये कोई आसान नहीं होता है. टीबी शॉ के प्लेस, टोनी मॉरिसन के प्लेस, विलियम गोल्डिंग के प्लेस सब याद, वर्क सब याद रखना, नॉट प्लेस, वर्क्स याद रखना. तो मैंने एक निमोनिक, एक टेक्निक होती है जहाँ पे you use first letter of each word, और कोई भी टेक्निक होती है, एक लर्निंग टेक्निक होती है जहाँ पे आप रिलेट करके आसान तरीके से याद कर लेते हैं. I have applied this technique over here. So please look at this lesson from that eye. और अगर ये अच्छा लगा, अगर इसे याद हुआ, तो और भी मैं authors लाऊंगी and we will put this technique. Okay, so let's go ahead with our first writer for today, and that is Rudyard Kipling. Okay, first Nobel Prize in English Literature was won by Rudyard Kipling. Birth date 1865 to 1936, United Kingdom. He started writing in 1886 to 1936. Guys, this is very important, birth year and death year. बहुत क्वेश्चंस आए हैं कि ये ऑथर्स हैं, इनको क्रोनोलॉजिकल वे में लगाइए. ओके, ये सारे ऑथर्स हैं और इनका बर्थ के अकॉर्डिंग लगाइए. तो दैट्स इंपॉर्टेंट. दिस इज द रीजन कि मैंने जितने भी ऑथर्स हैं वो क्रोनोलॉजी के ऑर्डर में लिया है एंड इनके वर्क्स भी पूछे जा रहे हैं. So Rudyard Kipling was a British author and poet known for his vivid storytelling exploration of British imperialism. Okay, he was very particularly popular for his set in British India. अगर British India के बारे में बात की, Rudyard Kipling automatically हमारे इंडिया के लिए, हमारे एग्जाम के लिए बहुत important हो जाते हैं. So, and his skillful use of narrative, Kipling works often feature themes of adventure, childhood. Jungle Book किसी को याद है? मोगली, जंगल जंगल बात चली है, पता चला है. Right? This song is on the Jungle Book, जो कि रुडयार्ड किपलिंग ने लिखा था. मोगली, the character, आज तक relevant है, आज तक से movies बनती है, बच्चों को अभी तक ये बहुत पसंद है. तो रुडयार्ड किपलिंग, but let me tell you, he was a very strong imperialist. बिल्कुल भी अगेंस्ट था कि इंडिया को फ्रीडम मिले. एकदम फेवर में था कि इंपीरियलिज्म हो यहाँ पे. ओके, मतलब कॉलोनाइजेशन चलता रहे. Chronology of notable works: Plain Tales from the Hills, 1888. It's a collection of short story about life in British India, showcasing the diversity and challenges of colonial life. Plain Tales from the Hills, 8881, 1888. The Light That Failed, 1890. Okay, a novel about an artist who loses his sight and grapples with his personal failures and the meanings of life. The Jungle Book, Mowgli, a collection of stories featuring animals in the Indian jungle, centering around the adventures of Mowgli, a boy raised by wolves. Okay, abhi maine ek video banaya fairy tales pe, abhi soon it will be uploaded, so you guys will see that how कैसे क्वेश्चन यूजीसी नेट अगर ट्विंकल ट्विंकल लिटिल स्टार पे क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है तो मोगली पे क्यों नहीं पूछ सकता है? ओके, द सेकंड जंगल बुक 1895 is a continuation of Mowgli's adventures and further tales of the jungle, exploring deeper themes of identity and belonging. Nolaka, a collaborative novel with Walcott Belsteer and a British woman's journey to India in search of a fabled necklace. Captain Courageous 1897. Chronology अभी सब याद हो जाएगा, मैं याद कराऊं दूंगी सारे कि कैसे याद करना है. A maritime adventure novel about a spoiled rich boy who is rescued by fishermen and learns the value of hard work. Kim, very famous novel. Kim पूछा जा चुका है एग्जाम में. A novel set in British India. जो novels British India में set हैं, Passage to India हो गया, E.M. Forster का, Rudyard Kipling का work हो गया, very important. Following a boy, Kimball Hara, who becomes involved in espionage during the Great Game between Russia and Britain. Just So Stories, okay, 1902. It's again a collection of children's story. बहुत children's story पे काम किया है that explains how various animal acquires their distinctive features filled with whimsy and imagination. Guys, I'm very sure that there is a high possibility कि फिर से chronology पूछी जाएगी. So this is the reason that I'm putting all the important works. Okay, so please ignore the number. This should be 9, 10. Five Nations, a collection of poems about British imperialism. Again, Puck of Pool Hill, a collection of children fantasy stories about English history. Repeating again, Rudyard Kipling was very much in favor of imperialism, like colonization should happen. Okay, so उसने कुछ भी अगर लिखा है तो बहुत फेवर में नहीं लिखा है. और उसने ब्रिटिश इंडिया के बारे में लिखा है तो जैसे जंगल बुक है, वेरी एग्जॉटिक, समथिंग दैट वाज वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम जो वेस्ट में देखने को नहीं मिले. Rewards and Fairies, a sequel to Puck of Pook's Hill. Sequel, prequel, बहुत important works होते हैं ये. Debits and Credits, and that is 1926. Then you have next work, इनका फिर 13 work important है, Limits and Renewals, another collection of short stories and poems. अब इसको Kipling won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1907 for his imaginative stories, vivid depiction of British colonial life, and mastery of storytelling. His influence on English literature endures particularly through his major works like Jungle Book and Kim. Very, very famous works. Okay, so British imperialism के बहुत important author हैं. इसको याद कैसे करना है? अब एक trick आई है. Okay, तो जितना भी फर्स्ट वर्ड है, okay, जैसे plain tales from the hills है, उसका P ले ले. Light that fail, उसका T ले ले. L and Jungle Book का J. So I have this first letter of each book. I have made a sentence. And if you can learn that sentence, you will never forget Rudyard Kipling का works in chronology. It's a very interesting learning technique. इसको mnemonic बोलते हैं. And that is, please let jungle stories never cease. Plain tales from the hills, let that failed, Jungle Book, Second Jungle, Nolaka, Captain, okay, so cease, यहाँ तक आ गया. Keeping justice for people rightfully during life. जंगल स्टोरी सुनना बहुत जरूरी है. जंगल स्टोरीज नहीं पता चलेंगे तो हम लोग को जंगल के बारे में नहीं पता चलेगा, एनिमल्स के बारे में नहीं पता चलेगा. एंड एनिमल्स आर सो इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर आवर सर्वाइवल, राइट? सो दिस आर वेरी सिंपल निमोनिक गाइस. एक बार याद कर लोगे ये सेंटेंस को कभी भी नहीं भूल सकते हो कि रुडयार्ड किपलिंग का वर्क क्रोनोलॉजी में कौन सा था. ओके, सो दिस इज इंटरेस्टिंग एंड इम्पोर्टेंट, राइट? विलियम बटलर येट्स का birth death 1865 to 1939, country Ireland. Nobel Prize कब जीता है? 1923, awarded for his inspired poetry that gave expression to the spirit of the whole nation. Very very famous. W.B. Yeats का fame बहुत अलग लेवल पे था जब उसको नोबेल प्राइज, तभी उसको नोबेल प्राइज मिला था because he was a prolific writer. Okay, William Butler Yeats was one of the most significant poets of the 20th century, and his work captured both the mystical and the national spirit of Ireland. Okay, Ireland का अभी तक इसको सबसे important poet बोलते हैं. His poetry transition from romanticism to modernism and so on. Next you have is इनके works देखते हैं. The Tower, it's a collection of poems. ज़्यादातर इन्होंने poems ही लिखा है. It's a collection of poems. It's an aging Irish politics and the passage of time. Then there's the Second Coming again important poem, ये पूछा जा चुका है एग्जाम में. 1990, It's a dark and apocalyptic poem written after World War I, symbolizing the chaos of the modern world. Okay, जैसे वेस्टलैंड लिखी थी टी एस एलियट ने, वैसे ही सेकंड कमिंग है आफ्टर द वर्ल्ड वॉर वन, जो कंप्लीट डार्क एंड very very disappointment. Okay, so that was the poem. Next is just a second, sorry guys. Yeah, okay, so इनके chronology, okay, ये works हैं. I will those were his basically poems. So right now I'm just talking about the works collection. Poem का collection क्या था? The Wanderings of Oisin and Other Poems, his first major collection. The Countess Kathleen, 1892, a play that draws on Irish folklore. This was a work, a play. The Wind Among the Reeds, it's a collection of lyrical poems once again. Okay, next you have is Kathleen Ni Houlihan. It's a symbolic play that was co-written with Lady Gregory, representing Ireland's struggle for independence. Ireland के ऊपर कौन सा play लिखा गया है? This. In the Seven Woods, 1904. It's a collection of poems that reflects on aging and Irish nationalism. And then The Green Helmet and Other Poems. This is 1910. Poems that explore love, nationalism, and the heroic ideal. Okay. Next you have is Responsibilities. It's a personal collection focusing on his political frustrations. The Wild Swans at Cool, 1917, a collection that reflects on lost love. The Tower, one of Yeats' most famous collections. Okay, The Tower में बहुत अच्छी works लिखे गए हैं. It includes the iconic poem Sailing to Byzantium. ये पूछ सकते हैं एग्जाम में कि Sailing to Byzantium कौन से collection में है? The Tower में है. Okay, just a second guys. All right. Okay, going ahead with this. Now let us see some of the more works. And अभी हम लोग mnemonic technique से इसको याद करने वाले हैं. Okay. तो इसके क्या है mnemonic technique जो मैंने डाला है? ये सारे works हैं. The Wandering of Oisin, The Countess Kathleen, The Wing Among the Reeds, Kathleen Ni Houlihan in the Seven Woods, The Green Helmet and Other Poems, Responsibilities, The Wild Swans at Cool, The Tower, The Winding Stair and Other Poems, and last poem and last two plays. I have picked up the first letter of all of these and I have made it into a sentence, a funny sentence. Wild cats walk carefully so great rivers twist wide lanes. Okay, wild cats को बहुत carefully जाना होता है जो ताकि जो great rivers होते हैं they twist their lanes, wide lanes. Each word stands for the first letter of each major word. This is the only sentence. Wild cats walk very carefully. Wild cats walk carefully, very nahi hai. Okay, so every mnemonic sentence mein every word is very important. Wild cats walk carefully so great river twist wide lanes. I hope everyone's getting the point. Every first letter in the sentence is signifying the first letter in the title of the work. Okay, ऐसा याद करना आसान नहीं होगा. ये sentence याद कर लोगे, not a work will be missed. Okay, that's a mnemonic. Next we have, next is, okay guys, about me. This is again we are coming with a course English literature. अगर इस तरह से सीखना है, याद करना है बड़े आसान तरीके से, मैं बहुत सिंपल करके पढ़ाती हूँ. So you can go ahead, buy my course 7999. जितनी भी मैं यहाँ पे PDFs हैं, जितना भी PPT है, you are going to get everything and all my paid students, you will be getting it today. आज आप लोग को मिल जाएगा ये. Next you have is जॉर्ज बर्नर्ड शॉ. GB शॉ ने गाइस 60 प्लेज लिखे हैं. अब 60 प्लेज याद करना इम्पॉसिबल है. मोर देन 60 लिखा है, तो मैंने कुछ प्लेज बस लिए हैं, ज्यादा नहीं लिया है. बट ऑल आर इम्पोर्टेंट. ओके, तो 1856 1950 आयरलैंड नोबेल प्राइज कब मिला है? 1925 मिला. आयरलैंड के ये भी थे, GB शॉ भी थे, WB येट्स भी थे. ओके, so George Bernard Shaw was a prominent Irish playwright and social critic known for his wit, use of satire and focus on social and political issues. His works often address class inequality and gender roles and the flaws in institutions such as marriage and education. बहुत social issues पे he used to talk about. इनकी chronology of works with brief explanations. Widower's House 1982, Shaw's first play. Shaw का कौन सा first play था? Widower's House. Can you see, नाम से पता चल रहा है कि yes, he's talking about social issues. a critique of the slum landlord system. Mrs. Warren's Profession. This was a play that challenged Victorian morality by exploring the life of a woman who profits from prostitution. Mrs. Warren's Profession, again a social issue. Okay, so 1893, Mrs. Warren's Profession. Arms and the Man, 1894. 1894, a comedy that marks romanticized ideas of war and heroism. This is again Arms and the Man. Then you have Candida. सबने Candida पढ़ी है नहीं पढ़ी है तो मैं पढ़ाऊंगी, important play है exam के लिए. It's a play about the dynamics of marriage, love and power. The Devil's Disciple, 1897. It's a play that is set during the American Revolution. American Revolution कब हुआ था? 1776 में, right? Blending comedy and melodrama. Man and Superman, 1903, philosophical play that incorporates elements of social commentary discussing gender roles, marriage, and Nietzsche philosophy. Okay, next you have is Major Barbara, a play that explores the tension between religion, poverty, and capitalism. The Doctor's Dilemma, 1906, a comedy exploring the ethical dilemmas. And Pygmalion, one of show's most famous works. अभी भी Pygmalion के adaptations बनते हैं. This play tells the story of a phonetics professor who transforms a flower girl into a society lady. Okay, so Heartbreak House, Saint John. Guys, ignore the numbering. Thodi numbering galat hai. That is, just ignore that. Heartbreak House, a play that satirizes British society. Saint John, historical play about Joan of Arc. And the Apple Cart, it's a political satire. Apple Cart lag nahi raha hai ki Apple se ki political satire hoga, lekin yes, it was a political satire. This is 1929, okay? All right, guys, as I said, 60 plays hain, impossible to learn. ये important works है, इनमें से chronology पूछी जाएगी for sure. अगर chronology पे GB Shop पे question आता है, these are the only set of works that will be picked up. So Widow's House, Mrs. Warren's Profession, Arms and the Man, Candida, The Devil's Disciple, Man and Superman, Major Barbara, The Doctor's Dilemma, Pygmalion, Saint John and the Apple Cart. अब देखते हैं, each word again represents the first letter of Shaw's plays. Witty men ask clever devils many difficult problems, hoping solutions appear. Easy sentence, right? GB Shaw बहुत witty था, तो witty men ask clever devils. Okay, devils are clever. Witty men ask clever devils many difficult problems, hoping solutions appear. Okay, ये sentence याद करो, chronology अपने आप याद हो जाए. Okay, I just hope that mnemonic की technique अगर अच्छी लगी तो मुझे comment section में ज़रूर बताना, so that I will apply this. Okay, I will apply this again in my all the other next videos. Okay, so next you have is T.S. Eliot, 1888 to 1965, important here. He won the Nobel Prize in 1948 and he was a major figure in modernist poetry. ये सब Nobel Prize winners हैं जो कि मैं ले रही हूँ. Known for his innovative use of form, structure and symbolism. Wasteland, 1922 में आया था. Again, बहुत important work था वो. Chronology of works with brief explanations. The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, 1915 में आया है. It's a dramatic monologue where the speaker reflects on his feelings of inadequacy and existential angst. Prufrock and Other Observation, 1917 में. It's a collection of poems that includes a love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. The Wasteland आया है 1922 में. Modernist era का सबसे important poem था. It's a groundbreaking modernist poem that portrays the spiritual and cultural decay of World War I. Next you have is The Hollow Man. It's a poem depicting the emptiness and lack of direction in a post-war period, in a post-war era. Then you have Ash Wednesday, 1930. It's a poem that's marking Eliot's conversion to Anglicanism. Okay. Murder in the Cathedral. It's a play in verse about the assassination, 1935, of Archbishop, that is Thomas Becket. Thomas Becket कौन थे? Exactly वही जो Canterbury Tales में हमें पता चला था, right? Then you have is The Family Reunion. It's a verse play that delves into themes of guilt, family dynamics, and spiritual renewal. Then there's Four Quartets, collection of 4 interlinked poems that reflect on time, memory, and spiritual transcendence. And The Cocktail Party. This is 1949. It's a verse play that addresses themes of loneliness, psychological healing, and spiritual salvation. Okay, so The Confident Clerk is 1953. And The Elder Statesman is 1958. All these are plays. Now you can learn ye sare again. Our sentences here. The love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Prufrock, another observation. The wasteland, Hollow Men, Ash Wednesday, Murder in the Cathedral, the family reunion, portraits, the cocktail party, and the elder statesman. And the sentence to learn this, all the places, people play, okay, people से Prufrock आ जाएगा, play with hats and make funny cat costumes every day. Okay, so people say, you can say Prufrock आ जाएगा, Prufrock, the wasteland, Hollow Men, hats का, Ash Wednesday का, and make is murder, funny is the, cat is for, costumes the, and every day is the. Okay, it's a very interesting and a very different technique, but you know, इससे याद हो जाएगा. इतना आसान नहीं है सब याद करना. If you have that mugging power तो शायद याद हो जाए, लेकिन कभी कभी you know every student can't learn that. So अगर एक simple सा sentence मिल जाए उसके सहारे you can recall all the titles. Okay, so next you have is Ernest Hemingway. He is 1899 to 1961, Nobel Prize in 1954 for his mastery of the art of narrative. He was a great narrative. बहुत ही अच्छा narration होता था उनके works में. He was one of the most influential American writers, and he's known for his concise, direct prose. Okay, his works often explore themes of war, heroism, love, and the human struggle against adversity. Next you have is Chronology of Work, The Sun Also Rises, a novel about a group of expatriates in post-World War. Farewell to Arms, 1921, it's a love story against the backdrop of World War I. Death in the Afternoon, 1932, it's a non-fiction work on bullfighting in Spain and analyzing all the rituals, okay? So this is, then there are Green Hills of Africa, 1935, it's a non-fiction memoir. It's a memoir, मतलब जब वो अफ्रीका गया था तो कैसा था उसका सराउंडिंग, किस तरह से उसका एक्सपीरियंस रहा, वो मेमोयर होता है. About having experience of a safari in East Africa, To Have and Have Not, 1937. It's about a fisherman who turns to smuggling during the Great Depression. And then there is For Whom the Bell Tolls, that's 1940. It's again a novel that is set during the Spanish Civil War. And इसका बहुत famous work था, that is The Old Man and the Sea, and Across the River इससे पहले था 1950 में. Old Man and the Sea was a very important work. इसकी वजह से you know बहुत influence हुए थे लोग इसको Nobel Prize देने के लिए. And A Movable Feast, that in 1964, this was published posthumously. Okay, so these are the works of W.B. Yeats. And going ahead with the mnemonic, The Sun Also Rises, A Farewell to Arms, Death in the Afternoon, Green Hills of Africa, To Have and Have Not, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Across the River, Into the Trees, The Old Man and the Sea, and A Movable Feast. Okay, and the mnemonic is, Sun always does great things for all outdoors men. Yes, sun always does great things for all outdoor men. Vitamin D देता है, right? हम लोगों को. Okay, so you can remember this sentence and you can never forget any of these works. Okay, so let's go ahead with our next one. William Golding, 1911 to 1993. Nobel Prize 1983 में मिला है, and he is from United Kingdom. Guys, Nobel Prize में chronology आ सकती है कि किसको पहले मिला है, आप सीरीज से लगाइए, right? वो आ सकता है question. Okay, sorry guys, give me 1 minute please. Okay, yeah. All right, so going ahead with this, William Golding, these are the Nobel Prizes 1983. Okay, William Golding के कौन-कौन से work है? The Lord of the Flies, very famous work, 1954. Boys are stranded in an island, कैसे वहाँ से escape करते हैं उसके बारे में है. Lord of the Flies, The Inheritors, The Fall of Neanderthals and the Rise of Modern Humans. Then there's Pincher Martin, that is 1956. A naval officer struggles for survival on a deserted wreck after a shipwreck. Then you have Free Fall. It's 1959. It's an Arctic reflects on his life and the loss of innocence and free will. The Spire, 1964. The Obsessions of a Cathedral Builder. The Pyramid, 3 stories set in a small town focusing on class and relationships. Okay. Next you have is The Scorpion God is 3 novellas about power and corruptions in different historical periods. Darkness Visible, post World War II Britain के बारे में है, and The Rites of Passage, 1980, the first of a trilogy about a British aristocrat. Close Quarters क्या है? It's a continuation of the Sea Voyage, and Fire Down Below is 1989, conclusion of the trilogy. Okay, so ये जो 3 trilogy हैं, इससे question आ सकता है that you know what are the 3 trilogies. Okay, या trilogy कौन सी पहले थी, second, third. Okay, The Double Tongue, 1995, it's an unfinished novel about an elderly priestess at the Oracle of Delphi. Then you have, okay, इसका मैंने I think mnemonic नहीं बनाया है, sorry guys, इसका मैंने mnemonic नहीं बनाया. I promise I will give you a mnemonic for William Golding. This is something I missed. Okay, so V.S. Naipaul. V.S. Naipaul 1932 to 2018, Nobel Prize इनको 2001 में मिला है. V.S. Naipaul was born in Trinidad and Tobago, and इनके ancestors like इसके father, grandfather, they were Indians. Okay, country कौन सी belong करते हैं? United Kingdom की citizenship है. V.S. Naipaul was a very celebrated author known for his profound exploration of colonialism, displacement, and the experiences of post-colonial societies. So he won a Nobel Prize in this. Then you have Chronology of Works, The Mystic Massoud, 1957. It's a very funny, humorous novel, Struggling Massoud, and Miguel Street, 1959. It's a collection of interconnected stories about the residents. A House for Mr. Biswas, very important work. It follows the life of man seeking independence and dignity. And then you have The Mimic Man. It's a novel about colonial politician in a free state. It's a Booker Prize winning collection of stories. Guerrillas, it's a novel about a white woman and black activist. Okay, this is a chronological work. Bend in the River, 1979, set in post-colonial Africa. It examines the complexities of power, corruption, and change. The Enigma of Arrival, 1987, and it's a reflective and semi-autobiographical novel. Away in the World is 1994. It's a novel that blends fiction and memoir. Okay. Next you have is Half a Life, 2001 में. It's a novel about an Indian man seeking his identity across continents, from India to Africa and England. Half a Life, important from exam perspective. कोई भी work अगर किसी भी foreign author ने Nobel Prize India से related लिखा होता है, make sure that you know that work. Okay. Magic Seeds, 2004, the sequel to Half Life. This is also important. And The Mask of Africa, 2010, a non-fiction travelogue that explores African religion and that impacted culture society. Okay, so इसका mnemonic क्या है? इनके work से The Mystic Massoud, Miguel Street, A House for Mr. Biswas, The Mimic Man, In a Free State, Guerrillas, A Bend in the River, The Enigma of Arrival, Away in the World, Half a Life, and Magic Seeds. And the mnemonic is, my mother always makes ice goodies before every afternoon holiday meal. All right. So of all these sentences, first letter आप ले लेंगे and you are going to get the sentence. You're going to get the entire chronology right. All right. Next you have is Kozo Ishiguro, a very important, he was born in Japan, a Japanese writer, but he lives in UK. 1980, 2017, very lately, he's won the prize. And Kozo Ishiguro is renowned for emotionally powerful novels that explore themes such as memory, loss, identity, and the complexity of human relationships. Okay, so Chronology of Works kya hai inka? A Pale View of Hills, 1982, a novel about a Japanese living in a woman in England, Japanese woman in England. Guys, Kozo Ishiguro बहुत important hai. Being a writer from the East, that is Japan, his importance is very high. He won a Nobel Prize. So please, Kozo Ishiguro ko, very likely that it will be asked in the exam. Okay. An Artist of the Floating World. It's set in post-World War II Japan. Very important. Japan was severely affected after World War II. The Remains of the Day. This is a movie also. This is a beautiful, it's kind of a story. It's a novella. ज़्यादा बड़ी नहीं है. अगर पढ़ पाइए तो ज़रूर पढ़िए. It's a movie also. A wonderful movie. A story about an English butler reflecting on his life and service during the interwar years. Next you have is The Unconsoled, 1995. It's a surreal dream-like novel about a famous pianist. When We Were Orphans, 2000. a detective novel set in Shanghai and London. Never Let Me Go, 2005. It's a dystopian novel about a group of children. Okay, Never Let Me Go. Next you have is Nocturnes, 5 stories of music and nightfall. It's a collection of 5 interlinked short stories. The Buried Giant, 2015. It's a fantasy novel set in post-Arthurian Britain when an elderly couple embarks on a journey to find their lost son, and they confront with collective amnesia. Amnesia is to forget something. Okay. Clara and the Sun, 2021, a science fiction novel about Clara, an artificial intelligence robot designed to be a companion to children. Okay, science fiction, very relevant, very important. 2021 latest work है इसका. Okay, so guys, Kozeshi Guru का क्या mnemonic है? Please, A Pale View of Hills, 1982, An Artist of the Floating World, 1986, The Remains of the Day, 89, The Unconsoled, 95, When We Were Orphans, 2000, Never Let Me Go, 2005, Nocturnes, 2009, The Buried Giant, 2015, Clara and the Sun, 21. Okay, so the mnemonic है. Please ask really unique writers now narrate books kindly. Okay, please ask now unique writers narrate books kindly. Very simple. क्यों? क्योंकि हम लोग इतने डिफिकल्ट टाइम में रह रहे हैं. आप थोड़ी पोलाइटली अच्छे से कहानियां सुनाइए. Okay, so these are the mnemonic sentences that were there. Guys, now we are coming to the end of our lesson. If you like this technique, please do like the video and tell me in the comment section कि अगर ऐसे और भी authors के chronology पढ़ना चाहेंगे. इसी तरीके से difficult chronology आसान तरीके से याद हो जाएगी. So let me know if you like the video. Also guys, this is a very simple way I teach my students so that हमेशा याद रहे, you never forget that. And with that, we have brought a course on English Literature Paper 1 we've started, and that is 7999 का ये course है. You can use my code ARLIVE and you can go ahead and avail discount on this. And for a very comprehensive lecture, again, you can see my Study IQ paid classes and YouTube. All my students who have got this course, yes, you will be getting this PDF and all the other PDF that are there. So I'll see you in the next class. Thank you, everyone.